Welcome to our YouTube video series on employment law. My name is Christopher Neufeld of Neufeld Legal, and in this particular YouTube video, we will discuss what is constructive dismissal, otherwise known as constructive discharge or constructive termination. Well, the term constructive dismissal describes a situation where the employer has not directly fired or terminated the employee. However, the actions of the employer, be it the employer themselves or the surrounding circumstances within the business within which they're operating, has resulted in a failure to comply with the contractual arrangement of employment or the legal principles and law pertaining to employment, such that the employee can effectively argue that they had no choice or they had a rationale predicated by the employer and the employer's business to resign or otherwise leave their employment, such that their resignation, their departure, their quitting from the business was predicated on circumstances entirely, or at least in part, in the control of the employer, and it was those circumstances that resulted in their departure. As such, it takes the form of what one might call a disguised dismissal or quitting with cause, because but for that situation created by the employer or allowed to exist by reason of the employee would not have left their position, and thus the situation is been constructively created by the employer and hence is termed constructive dismissal. As with most matters pertaining to employment law, constructive dismissal is one that is heavily based on the fact pattern, the factual situation, the facts surrounding the employment relation between the employer and the employee, the environment that the employer created, as well as the specific case law and statutes and regulations of the particular jurisdiction, and how that law applies to the facts and how they are typically interpreted, such that this provides a general understanding of constructive dismissal. But there is no specifically tight formulation that is applicable in all circumstances. It is heavily fact-dependent and also impacted by the underlying law. And I trust this YouTube video has provided some clarification and edification as to the concept of constructive dismissal or constructive termination in the employment sense. We will discuss other aspects of employment law in this YouTube video series. Thank you.